I work at Area 51. Now, I know what you're thinking when you read that title. You roll your eyes and glance upwards or downwards for a better story with a more plausible setup. That's what should happen. That is the point. What is written here, I do not want this found by my higher-ups. I can't explicitly say what my job is for those reasons, but I'll say that I have a mid-level amount of access. I will say that I'm old enough to have been born before Reddit, and old enough not to know how to use Reddit. Hopefully you're all kind enough to help me use it. Anyway, some backstory. I grew up in southern Nevada. I can't say which town, though it's one of those blinks and you'll miss its small towns. The only plus side is it's near Area 51. I grew up in a military family. They were always moving around, and I just so happened to pop out of my mama in Nevada. My dad was a pilot, so they transferred him to Area 51. He'd take his little white car and drive away at 10 p.m., and he'd always get home at 4 a.m. the next day. I'd always ask him about his work, but he'd stay quiet about it. Mom always told me not to talk to him about it, and that left me bummed out. It also made me more determined to get a job there. I was slightly disappointed when I first started out. Contrary to popular belief, we fly a lot of low-tech stuff here. It's a military installation. What do you expect? Aliens aren't just walking around having coffee with my coworkers, and sadly I haven't seen any in my whole time working on the base. I will say, however, there has been some weird stuff happening as of late, so I want to get this out just in case there's something happened. And two, I can't really talk about it to any other people, which is why I appreciate the anonymity of Reddit. I started working here as my dad retired and became part of the Roadrunners Club. They put me through so many tests and polygraphs. There's so much security there, you're not even allowed to sign up your real name or for anything. Checks come to you from proxy companies, which I won't name. Okay, on to stories. Recently, there was an event in California where a lot of people saw what they shouldn't have. I remember sitting home on my Twitter and seeing it all blow up. I soon got a call on my secure phone provided by Area 51 from one of my bosses, and they told me to drive to California. A very boring 8-hour drive later, I arrived at the military base and greeted my boss. I'm not the best author, but I'll try to paint a good picture, though. It was noonish. The object was under a tarp. I was told it landed a bit north of the sighting. Landed? I asked. Who was driving it? It was just a test pilot. He didn't even look at me. He was just fixated on the object secured by the tarp. Testing for what? I asked. What kind of aircraft was he testing? You're really asking too many questions, he told me. He finally looked at me, but his eyes had a dazed look. His eyes looked glazed a bit. Well, you did call me here, I responded. I did? He asked, looking confused. Yeah, I said, matter of fact. He looked at me for a long time. I'm giving you... I can't tell you the kind of access he gave me. Access. I was stunned. A promotion out of all things? I had been working there for so long without even a praise, and I suddenly got a promotion. My boss, I'll call him Bob. He told me to make sure he gets the aircraft transported safely back to the base. I agreed to happily, still riding on the high of my sudden promotion. Now, looking back on it, I could have swore the craft was glowing, but it must have been the early afternoon sun bouncing off it. So I can confirm to you, which obviously they will deny, that it's not a missile. It was a manned aircraft. A shorter flight back to the base had us all drive by nightfall. It was getting darker earlier. Area 51 has a peculiar way for planes to land. They turn on the lights for a brief moment, and then we suddenly land. I never questioned it, though. We really aren't allowed to. So the craft is out, and looking at it again, I really swear I saw it glowing. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe the blue of the flame? It looked like a blue of the flame was encasing it. My view was cut off when a worker was hastily covering it up with a corner of the tarp. They transported it into one of the hangars, and they kept it in the old Blackbirds. The hangar doors shut, and I was left outside with the two, apparently, CIA agents dressed in matching black suits, along with my boss. "What do I do now?" I asked. "You report to Cecil," a fake name. "Tomorrow," he said. I don't know if it was a trick of the light, but both of the CIA agents seemed to be mouthing something as my boss was talking. Now I'm standing there, kind of creeped out about the whole thing. I was feeling oddly uncomfortable, to be honest. They let me sleep on the base. I'm typing this on my phone, and I'm using their free Wi-Fi. I'll update you on what happens tomorrow if you want to hear more. I think I'm going to see the craft. Oh wait, I just got an email from my boss. Okay, the subject is blank, and the page is blank. Okay, I also suddenly feel the feeling of being watched. It's small rooms that hasn't helped my claustrophobia. I think I should sleep. I'll answer any questions when I can after I meet my boss tomorrow, and post an update if I am alive. Sorry for the long, mostly uneventful post. I just feel like something bad is about to happen. Do you ever get that impending doom feeling? I'm going to start out that I'm shocked to see the popularity my post got. If I wasn't on their radar before, I am now. Thanks, Reddit. Moving on. No, I'm not dead. It has been a busy past couple of days. We got a signal from space. The higher-ups were hush-hush about it. I got it across my desk, and I was surprised when I saw I couldn't read the contents. They were confidential. Sealed up with a lock, if you couldn't believe. How I knew it was about the signal was because they told me, and they said to deliver it to Cecil ASAP. I playfully asked if the signal was connected to the crash, and they gave me the dirtiest look I could ever receive. I was asked on the other post about the Art Bell call. I knew the guy who called. Now I can tell you for a fact it wasn't a hoax. I was there when we shut him down. Now the stuff he said, I can't tell you whether or not he was lying or not. I honestly don't know. The officials cut him off and got him because he might indulge things about Area 51, like weapon testing and whatnot. That was their excuse anyways, nothing about aliens. Though we have had a lot of switches in the power since that day, along with what I told you about Bob being taken away by those nice CIA agents. Someone called to say it was a hoax later just to make sure people didn't believe crazy things he said. I didn't believe anything he said, but now I'm having second thoughts. People have been asking me about details about the work here. As much as I want to tell you, there isn't much I can tell you without triggering the wireless network. Yes, Area 51 has Wi-Fi. Once you get past the snipers and landmines and trap holes, it's pretty relaxed here. It was a mess when Pokemon Go released. You wouldn't believe all the stuff on base. I don't have any interesting stories to tell you besides the missile, so I asked around. I checked the mess hall. Frank has been going to ground level 2 under the west hangar. At first I thought he was bullshitting me, as you would think if someone told you there were anti-gravity machines and literal working laser weapons with short, cartoony beams and everything. He told me when he asked where they got the stuff, they said they made it. I asked him who they were. He told me the short, gray-skinned man worked there. Aliens? I said jokingly. Yes, he said seriously. Seriously, Frank, I said, prodding him. He looked like he wanted to continue, but the CIA men were over my shoulder at the food bin. They looked different today, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. We went back to eating. I asked my new friend Steve about the Men in Black, and what he thought of them. Love the movie, he said. No, the CIA men over there, I nodded in their direction. Oh, he said, with a mouthful of sandwich. Those aren't CIA agents, stupid. CIA don't look like... And then he stopped in mid-bite. His eyes glazed over. Yeah, no, they're CIA. He went back to quietly eating his sandwich, ignoring me, staying silent for the rest of the time. I got curious. I went home that day, taking the shuttle into Vegas, and then went back to my house. I Google searched the Man in Black occurrences. Now here I am, surfing Reddit, going through the Men in Black conspiracies. It's been 6 hours since I typed the paragraph above. They're on to me. I'm going to Radio Dark permanently after this, but I want to tell you what happened before I leave so that my record is out there. If this is posted without a proper ending, know that they got me, and I had to press send as quickly as I could before destroying the phone. They followed me back to the house, those things, the CIA agents. I don't have curtains, so when I look up, partially blinded by the light on my phone, I swear I see the outline of something outside. It's late, and I knew I saw something darker of shade black quickly darted out of the way. It made my skin crawl. I quickly went around to make sure everything was locked up tight. I got to the back door. The knob rattled like 5 seconds before stopping. I heard them outside. They weren't talking English. I pressed my ear to the door to see if I could hear better. Something hit the door, which made me fall backwards. I scrambled to my car keys and a kitchen knife. Then I switched off the lights. I had a plan. I unlocked the front door and ran into my bedroom, which is closest to the front door, and hid in the closet. They took the bait and opened the back door slowly. I didn't hear anyone enter, but with the darkness outside my bedroom, I heard rustling, some clanging, and the opening of drawers and doors. My bedroom door opened. I got ready. I heard the gibberish. Oh God, that gibberish will be ingrained in my head forever. The closet door began to open. I came out screaming and slicing like a madman on bath salts. I think I hit it because I knocked something down out of the way, and it screamed. If I could call it a scream, as I blindly ran to my car and started it up. It started fine. Fuck horrible movie cliches. I looked out of the back of my car, and they were there, standing in my way. One suit was cut a bit. A bit of dark liquid soaked the cut. I hit the gas and ran right into them. Not a sound was made, no thump, no squeal, nothing. I was on the road. Safer then. I'm never going back to Nevada again. I'm sitting at a roadside gas station getting gas now. Sitting in my car. The clerk was nice. He saw I was having a rough night and gave me a free Kit Kat bar. My favorite candy ever. So here I am, on the run from freaking weirdos, and eating a Kit Kat bar, typing this story to all of you, half expecting you'll believe a word of it. These guys, they're really out there. These men in black, CIA imposters. I wonder if they did with Bob, what they're gonna do with me when they catch me. If they catch me. I guess I was right about impending doom feeling. Oop, the gas is done. Be right back. Okay, back in the... They're here.